Hi, so I'm going to give you guys an overview now of the Waffle House case. It's actually an EEOC versus the Waffle House. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is suing the Waffle House on behalf of one of its employees, Eric Baker. And of course, Waffle House, as you can, some procedural history here. Waffle House asked for the case to be dismissed because of the arbitration clause in the contract. And everything we've read up until now, maybe you would suspect, well, yeah, it should get dismissed. Arbitration clauses should take precedence over his ability to sue. However, in this case, the court found that the EEOC, as a separate organization, can sue on its own, and of course, the EEOC was not a party to the contract. So, the little bit of procedural history here: the district court denied Waffle House a motion to dismiss. Waffle House lost at the district court level. Waffle House appealed, and then the Fourth Circuit Court is a federal appellate court. There are 13 federal circuits, and so they're broken up by geographical area. Well, 11 of them are broken up by geographical area. And so this particular case found its way into the Fourth Circuit, and the Fourth Circuit also found in favor of the EEOC, but limited the EEOC ability to recover to injunctive relief. As you can see right here, the EEOC was limited to injunctive relief and was precluded from seeking victim-specific relief. So what is that? Well, an injunction is where the court is going to tell somebody to either stop doing something or to force them to do something. Generally, they're going to be stopped from doing something. So the EEOC would have been allowed here to stop Waffle House from doing this continued discrimination that was in practice according to the ADA. But that's it. EEOC was not going to be allowed to have specific relief, probably some compensatory dollars for Eric. And now EEOC appeals that to the Supreme Court, and again the EEOC wins. So this case opinion was written by Justice Stevens. In fact, here, let me take you to the actual case here. So here's the case again. I had to hunt a little bit more to find this case. I went to the Supreme Court site, actually right here, and went to opinions and went to bound volumes and found the volume and so forth and got to the case. But nevertheless, here's the case. We have a syllabus, and I thought you guys might be interested to see who was with Stevens and who was not. This was a 6-3 decision. Oops, darn it, I went too far. Let's see here. Where was that? Oh, here we go. So Justice Stevens delivered the opinion of the court in which O'Connor, Kennedy, Souter, Ginsburg, and Breyer joined. So there was 6, and then Thomas wrote a dissenting opinion in which Rehnquist, who has subsequently been replaced by Roberts, and Scalia joined. O'Connor also has been replaced. Well, several of these have been replaced since this particular opinion was written back in 2002. So we had a 6-3 decision. Here is the actual opinion then. Started right here. And in this situation, the book actually took words from the opinion. I found some of the opening paragraphs. So right here, in 1972, Congress amended Title VII, etc. Again, if you look at the book, those are the exact words. So the book pulled out about a sentence there. And then the book pulled out a paragraph here. And then the book, again, pulled out another paragraph down here on page 290 and so forth. So what you're getting in your textbook is the actual text of the case. It's just that our book is grabbing, sentences and paragraphs here or there. So in this case, fairly straightforward case, the way it was decided, the court decided that the EEOC does have the authority to sue on its own on behalf of an individual, and even to go beyond injunctive relief, but victim-specific relief. And the court made it very clear here at the top of the next page The FAA directs courts to place arbitration agreements on equal footing with other contracts, but it does not require parties to arbitrate when they have not agreed to do so. Well, that's kind of a given, right? I mean, if there's no arbitration clause, you're not going to be bound by it. And so basically the idea there is the EEOC is not bound by an arbitration clause because it has its own authority apart from the employee to sue. And it says here there is no ambiguity. No one asserts that the EEOC is a party to the contract or that it agreed to arbitrate its claims. It goes without saying that a contract cannot bind a non-party. Yes, it does. That's very obvious. We'll study contracts here in a couple of weeks, and that's a no-brainer. If you're wanting to get the other side of this, you might dive into the opinion and read some of Thomas's dissent. Essentially, in his dissent, he says, first of all, why can the EEOC do on behalf of an employee what the employee can't do himself, right? That's his main argument. This doesn't make sense that this court is allowing the EEOC to do something that the employee is not able to do himself. And then the other argument that Thomas makes is that this is actually going to this ruling can possibly really diminish the use of arbitration clauses in employment contracts. And the reasoning is this: the employee can sue and force Waffle House to arbitration, and if that doesn't go well, then they can go get the EEOC and sick them on Waffle House, and then the EEOC now can go and sue on its own in court. And so really what you got here is a lose-lose for Waffle House. Now they've got to arbitrate this case, or now they've got to fight this case potentially twice. And in this case, they did have to fight it twice, right? So Thomas's point, I think, is pretty good, that if you're going to diminish the value of arbitration clauses in employment contracts, employers are going to possibly be inclined to not use them at all, because why take the risk of having to fight something twice? So here's a case that went perhaps a little bit differently than maybe you would have expected given what you've read in the textbook. But in this case, the court, the 6 justices, thought that the EEOC had its own authority to bring this case into a courthouse rather than arbitration. And there you have it.